going back to what you said, that I think you said that you started to respect yourself more when you started to get to know yourself more. How did you get to know yourself more?
I started exploring.
Okay, before you start that,
Okay.
how did you know that you didn't know yourself? Because I think that's where many of us might think that, oh, actually, I know myself quite well. Like I have been
Yeah.
me the whole life, you know. What made you? I think you kind of shared that story with like your son's
Yeah.
wedding. Was
Yeah.
that the time, or was there
Yeah.
something
That was
else?
the time. No, that was
Okay.
definitely the time. And I don't know. Um, Larry saw it coming. My husband saw it coming because he kind of went through the same thing. His was a little bit different. I don't know what snapped. It happened literally when I walked in my front door. And there's just this weird feeling that I got when I walked in the front door, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And I started feeling really sad. And I was like, what is going on? Like I started crying. And the next thing I know, my phone rings because Larry at that time he was running an errand and he was going to stop by the house. And it was the weirdest thing. He calls and he says, "Are you okay?" No. And I started crying. He's like, "I'm on my way." And so when he got to my house, I was laying on my bed, just looking at the ceiling, crying and trying to figure what is going on. And then that's when it hit. It's like, who am I? I don't even know who I am. I don't know if the final straw was my son getting married and he didn't need his mom like he used to. I don't know what the click was. I
It
don't know
could
if I'll
be,
ever know. It could
because
be. I
I
mean, that
think
was the final piece.
many times what we do is we attach our things to something external of what we do or who we are to
Our
others.
value.
Exactly. So like being a mom, or even like it's really common with athletes, like being this athlete, that's my identity. When it's gone, who am I? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
especially something that has been like big part of your life, like being a mom. Now he's gone, and you're like, who am I? Like,
Yeah.
because you
The
would see
last
yourself
thing.
as a mom, you know?
Right. Because I didn't, because for me, I wasn't a wife anymore. So I was a mom. But the rest of my life, I never explored. I was always told what I liked and didn't like. And I had to, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I like that. No, I don't. And so, and it's crazy. Like I love history. I love color. I mean, there's just like so many things that I had no idea that I loved. I love trees. I go nuts over trees. I mean, I knew I always loved trees, but like it's so crazy now. Like they give me energy. It's so funny. But I don't know what exactly snapped, but it was definitely an awareness.
Yeah. It feels like, and I think many of us, we have to be careful of when somebody asks you, like, who are you? You're like, oh, I am a coach. I am, like they kind of start to say what you do, not necessarily who you are, but like what you do. And I think it's a tough one because it's hard not to attach yourself to what you're doing.
Right.
One thing that I noticed, because we had to do like when I was studying sports psychology, we had this one assignment about identities and athletes' career like ending. And it was interesting because athletes who did not, they still were like top performers. It didn't affect their performance. It's just the way they were looking at it. Those who did attach their identity to, I am this athlete, I am like, I don't know, basketball player, I was playing basketball, versus somebody who is like, I am playing basketball, it's one of the things that I do. Now that your career ends, especially if it ends like suddenly, injury or something like that,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, part of your identity, it's literally gone.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be that anymore because it's gone. You can't play anymore. And it was really interesting because for me, when I never had it. I don't know if there's anything that I would say that I am and I would attach what I do. It just has been like a struggle sometimes when people are like asking me about me, and I'm like, I'm just me. Like there's
Yeah.
there's no like one thing to describe me, because one reason is that there's so many things and so many interests, so many things that I do and so many interests that I
Mm-hmm.
have, that I don't see myself in like one box.
Yeah.
But also I feel like it's something that I think once you kind of know yourself, which is still like a journey, I think it's always a journey.
Yeah.
There's no like finish line. But I think the more you start to know yourself, the less you feel like there's any kind of like one word or one definition or one kind of description of who you are other than like I'm me. Like
Mhm.
you know, it's really interesting because I don't have like some kind of external things that I would attach who I am to, or at least I don't try to. I have roles in my
Yeah.
life,
Yeah.
but it's not who I am. But at the same time, it is like it's really
Yeah.
interesting.
It's a part of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But it's interesting how we even like form our identities because that's how we learn to know ourselves. Who I
Mm-hmm.
am, it is my identity. And then if
Mm-hmm.
part something that we might be attaching our identity to, which is not like right or wrong, it's just what is. When that is seemingly gone, like in your case, it's not like you're not mom anymore.
Right. It's just
but
different. It's
but
just
it
different.
might seem like it because he's
Right.
gone. And
Yeah. He's not living with me anymore.
yeah, so he doesn't need you anymore. So are you a mom?
Oh,
You know?
right. 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 He doesn't need me the way he used to.